to introduce Dr. Saurav Mittal. Dr. Saurav Mittal currently holds the position of a consultant and assistant professor at Thind Eye Hospital, Jalandhar. After doing his MBBS from Bangalore Medical College, he did his DNB from Arvind Eye Hospital, Tirunelveli. He did his fellowships in pediatric ophthalmology as well as cornea and refractive surgery fellowship also from Arvind. He has more than 80 years of surgical experience. He has won the St. Atwale Award at AIOS 2008. Dr. Saurav is a proficient anterior segment surgeon, a versatile squint surgeon, and is into a lot of corneal transplant surgeries. He is very well versed with corneal PK, DASEC, and other corneal surgeries. So Dr. Saurav will now give us insight how to manage cataract when comorbidities of the cornea have a bad day for us. Dr. Saurav, please.
Yeah. Dr. Vikram, you have to stop slideshare.
Yeah, I've done that.
So good morning, friends. We are into the last of the last topics of the session, and my talk will be on cataract surgery through a compromised cornea. So not all cases of cataract surgeries, they bring smile to our faces. There are few which do have these presentations, which involve the corneal surface or the corneal tissues or depth of the cornea, endothelium, stroma, epithelial surfaces, even the extraocular surfaces, the conjunctiva encroaching in cases of pterygiums, dystrophies, corneal scars, already operated for keratoplasties. These type of patients, when they come with cataract, they are not easy to handle. They do give us a lot of thought before we plan for the surgery. Once we have thought that we will plan for the surgery, we should first consult the patient that these patients that they might require multiple surgeries to get the best possible visual outcome, and the 100% visual outcome might not be possible because of multiple associations of the disease. So now we take these patients with corneal diseases onto the slit lamp and do a diffuse retroillumination. I basically divide these patients into two different categories, one where we have a good retroillumination and the one where we don't get a good retroillumination because of the corneal disease. If we get a good retroillumination glow, we plan for the surgery, and in these cases, when we plan for the surgeries, we take it under the microscope. We do have a Lumera 700 and a Leica, which is 822 with a good retinal glow. See, we don't get a good reflex. Once we shift over to the retroillumination mode alone, we do get a very good glow from the background. If you are equipped with the chandeliers, you can use a chandelier endoscopic probe also. That also will give you a very good retrobulbar glow. But it's not possible in all practices. So doing a surgery under only retroillumination will help in proceeding with a good surgical outcome. So we do our axis under this retroillumination. Meanwhile, our diffuse illumination is switched off. The cataract surgery becomes easy. We proceed in a routine procedure. Phacoemulsification is performed and the intraocular lens will be implanted in these cases. Since the glow is good, the surgery is easy. We don't have to. The outcome depends only on the corneal morbidity. So these are the patients where we have a good retinobulbar glow and we can perform the rexes and proceed with the cataract surgery in a very comfortable manner. Now there are cases where there is absence of diffuse retroillumination. Once there is a absence of diffuse retroillumination, it will be difficult for us to visualize the cataract and perform the surgery. Depending upon the level of the corneal involvement, that is the epithelial, subepithelial, stromal, or the endothelial, we will plan our surgery according to the condition. In superficial corneal scars or pterygiums, we will be removing the surface. We will be removing the surface epithelium, scrape it a little bit, scrape the whole surface to have a better view of the cataract area. Smoothen the surface with the help of a diamond burr. It's easily available in the market. Once the surface is smooth, you put on a drop of viscoelastic, and we can proceed with the cataract surgery the way we did the cataract surgery in the previous scenario where we had a good retinal illumination. So we we are doing it without a retinal illumination on. Once we shift over to a good so we have a fairly good image of the lens, the rhexis. So this is how the difference of retinal illumination will come in. Doing cataract surgery becomes easier once the retinal illumination is switched on. So for pterygiums, we should remove the pterygium first and do a cataract surgery as a routine. If there is a central opacity, along with it, we should do a superficial keratectomy and then proceed with the surgery. When the cataract surgery is because of when the cornea is opaque because of the dense stromal scar, we should be planning for the keratoplasty. The keratoplasty should be done first. We should mark and the circular area. Refining should be depending upon the amount of the corneal scar. Minimal what I suggest is 7.5 or 8. And if the scar is bigger, we can even think of 8.5. After refination, we have to remove the donor button. We should be injecting a lot of viscoelastic to keep the iris and the lens surface relatively towards the posterior side. After performing the removing the donor button, after removing the button, we put in a lot of viscoelastic, get a good glow of the lens. Try to do a rhexis. If it's not possible, just go in for a can opener type incisions. And once the capsulotomy is completed, just removing the nucleus is not very difficult because the whole tissue tends to come out very easily. Slowly, with the help of Simcoe, we do remove the cortical matter, and then we place the donor button on the top. First, primary sutures are being placed in position. This stabilizes our donor. One after the other, we tend to place another sutures. After completing the 6 sutures, we place in the IOL under the viscoelastics. Prefer doing a multi-piece intraocular lens because we don't know what scenario we will be landing up. The patient is already explained for the results. Once the lens is implanted, we put in all other sutures and form the anterior chamber with a little bit of air and wash all the viscoelastic with the saline. Now, the patient where there is an endothelial compromised endothelial function, it can be after the initial keratoplasties, or it can be because of different dystrophies involving the cornea. We can very well take help of a specular microscope to identify what amount of endothelial dysfunction is there. If the endothelial dysfunction is not great, we can do a routine cataract surgery under the in this case the endothelial function was not that bad, so we did a routine cataract surgery in a fashion similar to what we have already explained. Only thing is we use liberal viscoelastic, cohesive viscoelastic, so that the endothelial damage should not be great. The phaco settings should be kept on a lower side. The power of the phaco should be less. So switching over to the retroillumination always helps in doing surgeries for any type of corneal conditions where the glow is clear. This is a safe and effective technique. Otherwise, you can use a chandeliers light also for doing these surgeries. IOL lens is implanted in the back, and in cases of endothelial function which is severe and cataract surgery has to be done, we plan for a endothelial keratoplasty along with the cataract surgery. Incision is made, large incision is made for performing the DSEC. Since the incision is already big, we plan not for phaco, we will be doing SACS along with the. Even we can do phaco in cases in case we want to make another smaller incision. Since SACS is being planned, we will be making a bigger axis that will be around 6 to 7 mm. Cataract is also dense, so the incision, the axis depends upon the cataract grade of cataract also. I'm not worried about the endothelium in this particular cases because we are anyhow going to replace the endothelium. This is the last. Sorry, this is the last slide.
You continue, Dr. Saurav, please continue. We have enough time.
Yeah.
Yes, doctor, you can continue.
I'm not getting that video thing. Yeah. So once the Rex is completed, we do a hydrodissection, remove the lens with the help of a rectus, wash the anterior chamber of the cortex, and once the cortex is aspirated, we push in the intraocular lens into the bag. Yeah, sorry. After putting the lens in the bag, we inject the Tryfan blue, delineate the endothelial surface with the help of a reverse Simsky hook, and do a DM stripping. After performing the DM stripping, we will take a donor graft which is already prepared. We normally prepare it manually. We'll do a taco and we insert the corneal button inside the anterior chamber. Once the corneal button is inside, we'll just form the anterior chamber, push in a little bit of air, and complete our placement of the donor graft onto the posterior corneal surface. Center the graft, and this completes our combined surgery of DSEC with the cataract. Patient generally tends to do very well with these type of surgeries. If we are well versed with all these surgeries, the corneal transplantation, the keratoplasties, the superficial keratectomy, the pterygium excision, we can face this challenge with a smile. And thank you all for being with us and all throughout the session.